You've probably seen it happen. Your dachshund is perfectly calm, lounging on the couch, doing their signature full-body stretch, and then someone walks through the door. Maybe it's a new coworker, a neighbor you've just met, or a distant relative, and out of nowhere, your little dog goes stiff. The hackles rise, the low, rumbling growl starts from somewhere deep in that long body, and nothing you say can calm them down. You apologize to your guest, you feel embarrassed. You chalk it up to your dachshund just being dramatic. But here's the thing. What if they weren't being dramatic at all? What if your dachshund was reading something you couldn't? Stick around, because what you're about to learn might completely change how you see your dog. These little long-bodied wonders aren't just cute. They are wired, trained by centuries of evolution to pick up on things the human brain simply misses. And today, you're going to find out exactly how they do it. By the end of this video, you'll understand 6 extraordinary abilities your dachshund has, including how they detect dishonesty, predict illness, and sense danger before you even know it's there. This isn't fluff. This is backed by science, centuries of breeding history, and the very real experiences of dachshund owners around the world. Let's get into it. Number 1. They read human body language better than most humans do. Here's your starting point. Your dachshund was not bred to herd sheep or pull sleds. They were bred to hunt, specifically to track badgers underground in tight, dark tunnels. That job required one thing above all else: the ability to read a threat before it struck. That instinct never left. What this means for you is that your dachshund is constantly scanning the people around you, the ways someone holds their shoulders, the tension in their jaw, the micro shifts in someone's gaze. Humans process these cues consciously and slowly. Your dachshund processes them automatically in milliseconds. Research in animal cognition confirms that domestic dogs have evolved a unique sensitivity to human social cues, but dachshunds, with their hunting lineage and highly alert temperament, appear to dial this up even further. They don't just notice you're nervous, they're already 2 steps ahead of you, deciding whether the nervous person in the room is a threat or not. So when your dachshund growls at someone and you can't figure out why, consider that they may have clocked something real, something your polite human brain was too busy talking to notice. Number 2. They can smell your stress, literally. This one will genuinely surprise you. When you feel afraid, anxious, or uneasy, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals cause subtle but measurable changes in your sweat composition. To you, this is invisible. To your dachshund, it's as obvious as a flashing neon sign. Dachshunds were bred with an extraordinary sense of smell. Their nose contains up to 300 million olfactory receptors, compared to about 6 million in humans. They were engineered to track scent underground, through dirt, over long distances, without losing the trail. That same precision applies to the chemical signals people around them are giving off. What this means in practice is that your dachshund can smell that a person is scared, stressed, or agitated, even if that person is doing their absolute best to appear calm. And here's the key insight. A person who is attempting to project false confidence while their body chemistry tells a completely different story, that inconsistency registers clearly to your dachshund. They don't understand the concept of lying, but they understand the mismatch between what a body says and what it smells like, and that mismatch makes them suspicious. Number 3. They detect illness, sometimes before you know you're sick. You may have heard that certain dogs are trained to detect cancer or low blood sugar. What you might not know is that your dachshund, untrained and just going about their day, may already be doing a version of this. Dogs have been documented detecting changes in human body chemistry linked to illness, including diabetes, epileptic episodes, and some cancers. The olfactory ability required for this isn't limited to specialized working dogs. Any dog with a strong enough nose and a close enough bond to their human can begin to notice these chemical changes. Dachshunds, who famously bond intensely with one or two people in a household, spend enormous amounts of time close to their person. They're on your lap, they're pressed against your leg, they're sniffing your breath, your skin, your hands, all day long. They build a detailed chemical profile of what you smell like when you're healthy. When that profile shifts, they notice. If your dachshund has suddenly started sniffing you more than usual, acting anxious around you, or following you from room to room in a way they don't normally do, it might be worth paying attention. They may be picking up on something before your own body gives you clear signals. Number 4. They can read tone of voice with surgical precision. Here's something fascinating about how dachshunds process sound. Studies have shown that dogs process emotional content in human voices in a region of the brain that maps closely to the human brain's own emotional voice processing center. In simple terms, they're neurologically equipped to hear the emotional truth underneath your words. This is why your dachshund gets up and follows you to the door before you've said a word, because they heard the change in your voice while you were on the phone. It's why they press against you during an argument, even if the argument is calm in tone. And it's why they don't trust the person at the door who is being perfectly polite, but whose voice carries a subtle edge of deception or aggression. They're not listening to your words, they're listening beneath them, and they're doing the same with every person who comes near you. Number 5. They sense seismic and environmental changes before they happen. This ability goes beyond human interaction entirely. Your dachshund's nervous system is sensitive to vibrations, barometric pressure shifts, and electromagnetic changes in ways that humans simply cannot access without instruments. There are documented accounts of dogs becoming agitated before earthquakes, storms, and other environmental events. Dachshunds, who spend a lot of time low to the ground, a byproduct of those short legs and that long spine, are particularly well positioned to pick up on ground vibrations before they become perceptible to you. This is also why your dachshund might start pacing, whining, or acting strange hours before a thunderstorm rolls in. They're not being anxious without reason. They're responding to real atmospheric data that you simply don't have access to. Their world is richer in sensory input than yours. What looks like irrational behavior from the outside is often a perfectly rational response to something very real. Number 6. They form emotional maps of the people around you. This is the one that ties everything together. Your dachshund doesn't just react to people in isolated moments. Over time, they build a full emotional map, a kind of running psychological profile of every person who is regularly in your life. They remember how someone smelled the last time they visited. They remember the tone of voice that person used when they thought no one was listening. They remember the time that person walked in tense and tried to play it off. Dachshunds are notoriously selective with their trust. Unlike some breeds who greet every stranger with enthusiasm, your dachshund extends full trust to very few people very slowly. That's not a personality flaw. That's sophisticated social intelligence shaped by centuries of being a working dog who had to know, without being told, who was safe and who was a threat. When your dachshund decides they don't like someone, they've usually been building that case for a while. And when they decide they love someone, that loyalty is ironclad. These dogs do not make either decision lightly. So the next time your dachshund gives someone the side eye, or refuses to settle in a room, or presses closer to you after a certain person leaves, stop and think about what they might be telling you. They're not dramatic, they're not stubborn, they're one of the most perceptive, emotionally intelligent animals on the planet, wrapped in a comically long body and doing their best to look out for you every single day. If this video gave you a new appreciation for your dachshund, do them a favor, hit that like button and share it with another dachshund owner who needs to hear it. And if you want more content breaking down the remarkable science behind this breed, subscribe and ring the notification bell. There's a lot more coming that you won't want to miss. Your dachshund already knew you'd make it to the end of this video. They've had you figured out from